Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Friday, June 3rd, 2022. The weekend is here. Hope everyone is fired up. ECSI VIPs. Yesterday, Cam Young shoots -5 and on the lid. We got him plus 4,000 first round leader. I've never watched a first round where I saw more people get to -5. And then there was another whole bunch at -4 with about 5, 6 holes to go. It was like a bingo hall. Bingo, bingo. Blessed and honored and grateful. Plus 4,000 tied with 5 other people, but it was still a nice way to start that tournament. At the nightcap, we had over 11 and a half Rockies and Braves, and we hit that in the fifth inning, bottom of the fifth inning. For the NBA, we put out a bunch of stuff for people to take a look at. Our main concern is this: is we did not know what was going to happen in game one. So if you liked the Celtics and you thought the Celtics were going to lose game one and you wanted them in the series, we talked about waiting, grabbing them plus 240 today. Well, that didn't happen. I am still in awe. I thought I'm not into the new basketball. I'm an 80s guy, a 90s guy. I thought I was watching the 80s Celtics versus the Lakers. I thought I was watching Showtime. I thought I was watching Magic and Bird. I've never seen two teams just like a heavyweight fight. 3 after 3, dunk after dunk. 2-point lead for the Celtics at halftime. Golden State comes up third quarter, said, not in our house, and got a double-digit lead, and it looked like it was over. In the start of the fourth, the Celtics said, not so quick here, Golden State. We beat Brooklyn. We beat the defending champs. We beat the Heat. We didn't beat a banged-up Denver team, a Memphis team without Ja, and the Dallas Mavericks team with Luka and a cloud of dust. We're here for a reason. And at one point, a 17-0 run and a 22-2 run. Thanks for playing. Celtics dominate the fourth quarter, get up 1-0. So anyone that wants Golden State now should be able to get plus money. But plenty of action to talk about. Let's get into the Windy City. Our co-host, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. Good morning, Riley.
Morning, my friend. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Finally, obviously, I think it was a double-digit win for the Celtics, but like you said, a damn entertaining game. The most entertaining game we've had in a few weeks in the NBA. So, as a fan of the NBA, I'm a happy man. But yeah, you said it. I was wrong about waiting on the Celtics until today. I think if you wanted to, I don't think you'll have that same opportunity. I do think the Warriors get game 2, so if you're still hoping to get the Celtics at plus money, I think you'll still, if it's not next game at some point, I think you'll still have that opportunity. So I'm excited to dive into the weekend's action. We've got a full baseball slate, not my wheelhouse necessarily, but I think we've got some hockey action today as well. Obviously, golf tournaments in full swing on day 2. My guy Patrick Reed's starting to make some waves. My guy in betting, I'm not a huge personal fan of him, but my guy in betting this weekend, Patrick Reed's starting to make some waves. So I'm ready to dive into it, my friend. We've got a nice slate of action today.
Well, as I started with the series prices, again, the Celtics had lost the first game against the Bucks. We jump in. They were -200. We jump in. We get them plus 110 after the loss. Celtics -170 against the Heat, lose game 1. Get them at plus 105. I'm looking at Circa right now. Celtics -185. Warriors plus 160. So again, if you like the Warriors in game 2, just bet the series at them at plus 160. Warriors win that game. You go back to before the tip-off of game 3, you get the Celtics at plus 145. You're guaranteed 45 cents for every 100.
Right. And I would, that's exactly how I would advise doing this. I'm back in that spot where, I've mentioned I've had the Warriors a lot larger ticket since January. So I'm sitting on hoping to get the Celtics back at plus money so I can hedge a little bit there and guarantee myself some profit. So it's on Sunday, and I think we'll be talking to each other Sunday unless plans change. So I'm sure we'll have some time to talk about it then. But Yeah, it was a hell of a game. I think it's gonna be a hell of a series. Maybe not as hot shooting performances both sides the rest of the way. Maybe not. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for a nice long series in this one finally.
Take us through golf yesterday. I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. Um, you got some minus a six up there with McCarthy and Riley. Riley's been playing some great golf.
Yeah.
The fives haven't teed off yet. Um, Lowry, what Mr. Dubs talked about as a sleeper, is at now minus four.
Yeah.
I got laughed at when Im hit our algorithm. He's minus two today at minus four. Naismith, we have at a big number. He hit our algorithm at minus three. Rory hanging around at minus three. Talk to us. Have you seen a first round leaderboard magnetized like that in a long time?
No, it was interesting to watch. It was wild, and now, yeah, I'm interested to see how day two plays out. As I mentioned, you got a few guys that are bigger names down at the bottom of the pack that didn't have as nice of a day, kind of rising back up a little bit. So I'm interested to see if obviously you got Cam Smith up there, so a couple big names. I'm interested to see along with Lowry. I guess Lowry's about halfway through his round today, but Cam Smith hasn't started yet. Big potential, and you mentioned it, Riley. A couple of these guys, I'm interested to see if these guys are going to extend this lead and set the tone going into day 3 and 4. But another guy you mentioned, I think it was Wednesday we were talking. I think you mentioned Shoffley as a guy that was kind of up there in a lot of people's minds, or algorithms minds. And he had a nice day. He's even through 12 today, so he's kind of floating around, but he could absolutely be in position. A couple guys, Cantlay not doing much. Rahm's still hanging around even. I'm interested to see if he's got some firepower left into him. Obviously, he's the strongest track record at this course. So I'm interested to see what we've got in him. And then obviously I mentioned Patrick Reed. Fitzpatrick was the guy that I mentioned. He's 1 over, so still above the cut line right now. But not quite grinding the same way that we had expected him to a little bit. He was, was obviously solid lately, but he's 1 over. So I'm interested to see if he can, as far as the win, I think it's a little too late for him as far as the way he plays. But yeah, I'm interested to see how the rest of the day plays out. We've got some big names coming up, so I think a few of these guys at the top could go low again and extend this to maybe 10 under as the leaders going into day 3 here.
And I always like to say to the novice golf wagerer or investor, you have to break it down simply as this: to have a chance to cash, you got to make the cut. So first of all, let's make the cut. Right now, the cut line +1.
Yes. Yep. +1 right now.
Okay. And then we get to Saturday, which is considered moving day, which is get you in position for what we call as Sunday sweats. And there are a lot of big names lurking in the weeds, and they know how to navigate this course very, very well.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that are in form that have been playing great, the Rileys of the world up top. It's kind of funny when we had Dubsy on yesterday. He's an Aussie and, basically surprised at Cam Smith. He always talks about horses for courses. And he didn't think that didn't think Cam might fit this course. And we were both on Cam Young first round leader, so we cashed there. But it's just in there's so much going on. Golf is the one sport where you can put a couple ducats, you can get some great odds, and you can get 4 days of action.
Yeah, and it's and I think this tournament is shaking out to have some value just about every single day. I mean, the guy you talked about Shoffley as I guess I don't know if he's still a top 10 golfer, but top 12 nonetheless. I mean, he's right around 30-1 still to win it. I think you could probably still wait. As I mentioned, if these guys that are at the top extend this lead a little bit, you could probably catch a guy like that at 40-1 odds come tomorrow. So I think it's going to be a hell of a weekend for the Memorial Tournament here.
Last night you briefly touched upon it, the NBA Finals. Listen, it's part of our lanes, it's part of our business, and I think the younger guys like yourself really enjoy this type of basketball. It's threes, and more threes. Who's hotter that night? It's sneaker deals, it's music deals, it's 2KA ratings. What's my number there? And I'm an 80s and a 90s guy, but what I witnessed yesterday was just, as you said, the blowouts and blowouts. It was such a boring playoff leading up to yesterday. I don't think they can match yesterday's game in the next 6 games if it goes 7.
Right. And as far as, I personally love, and maybe it was because my Bulls were actual championship contenders a decade ago, I like the nice hybrid of what we have now and still a little bit of grittiness. And I think that's why this series is going to shape up to be really, really, really entertaining, because these teams know how to take advantage of the modern wave and use it efficiently as far as when to take threes, not just force up threes just because it's worth more, and take a bad percentage three just because these analytics tell you to take threes. These two teams actually are very efficient at running these offenses to where it's not that type of tear your hair out type of offense when things aren't working. So I think it's going to be really entertaining. I think we're going to see a couple games here where these defenses step up quite a bit. I think you're going to see a really nice defensive performance from the Warriors in Game 2. So, I'll be looking forward to Sunday talking about it with you on Game 2 there.
Baseball, full slate for the most part. We do have day baseball in your neck of the woods. I guess we could start there. I'll bring up the board according to, we'll go to Wager Talk today. We'll have some fun there. If you want to follow along, go to wagertalk.com/free odds, and we will walk through the board there. We can start right on the south. Actually, I was going to say the south side, but north side there. And we got a good matchup. We got St. Louis and the Cubs, rotation number 901, 902. Mikolas versus Stroman. Mikolas opens up -120 overnight. Circa and the rest of the boys in Vegas said not so fast. Currently at Circa, Stroman and the Cubs, -112.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Beautiful day, no weather concerns as far as this one here in Chicago. So this is going to be a nice day. Maybe wind factor in this one. I'm not sure exactly. It looks like it's blowing to the left to right. So Mikolas was bad last time. Kind of a regression spot for him in that spot. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a second straight kind of rough outing for Mikolas. Stroman was very good. It was against my White Sox, who aren't hitting right-handers, but he was very good against the White Sox last time out. The Cubs offense is heating up right now. I'm interested in the Cubs' first 5 in this one because I think they'll hit up Mikolas for at least 2 or 3 runs, and I think Stroman's going to be solid in this one once again and put together a nice 2-3 outing stretch of really nice performances. So I'm interested in the Cubs, at least the first 5 in this one. What about you in this one here?
Tough call. Cubs win last night, correct?
Yes.
I kind of leaned the Cubs. And I liked St. Louis moving forward. Scotty Webb on the midday market report yesterday talked about it's currently Goldschmidt and Gorman in a cloud of dust right now for the St. Louis. They're not. The rest of the team is not hitting. I always like to trust and respect the opening number. Mikolas -120. Yet we now have the Cubs favored. Stroman is one of these guys that has my number. I'll be honest with you. If I back Stroman today, he'll give up a crooked number in the first or second inning. It just happens every time. And if I back the Cardinals, it will be Cy Stroman. 3 hits, no runs through 7.
Right. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like some lopsided money on bets and money on the Cardinals. It looks like 82% of bets and money on the Cardinals in this one. But it is a little. This is obviously the only day game, so interested to see how that one plays out. And then we can stick with Chicago. It's not in Chicago, but my White Sox on the road in Tampa just got swept by the Blue Jays. The White Sox did. I'm staying far away from this one. Sox versus the lefties, always at least open my eyes to this team a little bit. But you got Vince Velasquez on the mound is too much of a wild card. You don't know if he's going to go 5 innings shutout or 5 innings 4 to 7 runs. He's done both 3 or 4 times each. So total wild card for me for Velasquez. I'm a big McClanahan guy, so not a ton of faith in the White Sox today. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, my first thought, honestly, overnight was -210 down to 180. A huge McClanahan fan. I would be looking to get into Tampa minus the hook, minus the first 5. What I think is the White Sox are dangerous today. I don't trust Velasquez as far as I can throw him, but you just got swept by the Jays. It's a good wake-up spot. I think Tampa will be a huge, huge public favorite today. And as you know, it's Friday. It's payday.
Yeah.
It's Fade the Public Friday. And I don't want to say I smell trap here, but I would feel a sense of desperation would be on your White Sox today.
No, I totally agree. And what would make me feel a lot better is a guy that is not in the lineup at the top of the lineup against lefties, who hits 500 average and OBP against lefties. Tim Anderson, who's not in the lineup today at the top of the lineup. Whenever we're facing a lefty and you have that in your back pocket to start the damn game off, that's obviously starting you off nicely against lefties, and they don't have that. But I agree with you. I think there's going to be some sense of urgency. But as far as backing them, Velasquez is too much of a wild card for me. So I'm going to sit this one out and hope we can get a win and back on the right track. Moving on here, one that I was interested in, Arizona and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, nice week for the Pirates. Merrill Kelly and Brew Baker for the Pirates. Pirates about minus 105. I don't know. Are you seeing overreaction, or is this kind of an accurate line? Brubaker's been really solid lately, and Arizona's offense is kind of becoming more and more inconsistent as we go along here. Is this overreaction, or is this accurate for you here?
Well, I like how Vegas overnight had it basically a pick 'em minus 110, 110. Sharps overnight decided, you know what? We'll sprinkle a little money on Arizona and see which way it goes. And under over at 8, that is now 7.5 over 23 cents at circa. Tough game. I would lean Arizona, but anyone that wanted to run to the window and back Pittsburgh, I could see that. Listen, they swept the Dodgers. They're playing better offensively. They're scoring, pitching better. As you said, Brubaker's been okay of late. I think this is a popcorn game for me.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'll go against you. It's a popcorn game. I'm not going to throw more than a few bucks on it, but I'll go against you and say I'm on the Pirates in this one. How about that?
There you go.
Moving on to the next one. Interested to see what your thoughts here are. Probably a stay away from me. Minnesota and Toronto. For Minnesota, this is not his, or this is his first time in Minnesota, but the return of Chichi Gonzalez for Minnesota was with Colorado the last couple of years. I don't think he was south of 6 ERA in either of the last 2 seasons. Versus Yusei Kikuchi. Toronto obviously just swept my White Sox. Their offense looks like they are back in business here this season. I'd be surprised if is this too easy on a Friday night? I'd be surprised if they don't beat Chichi Gonzalez up. Or is maybe Yusei Kikuchi due for some regression here? What are your thoughts here?
I think you're spot on both. 2 offenses. Chichi, Jesus, if you sent me $100 to play Chichi today, I'd Venmo you 200 back. I'm like, go out to the ballpark, will you? I suck at overs. I popped one yesterday. Whenever anyone listening that wants to note this and highlight it, whenever a game in Colorado tips and gets at that 11.5, 12 number, it's a go number for the over. Is it a lock? No, there's no such thing as locks. But I'm telling you, when you see 11.5, 12, go sprinkle a little beer and pizza on the over and enjoy it. Here, to me, for this Minnesota White Sox game, this is an overplay all day for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. My last note on it was entertainment over. That's what I put on this one. So I'm going to be with you here. I think over the last couple of hours, I think it ticked up from 11 to 11.5 too on this one as well. So I'm with you. I would be shocked if Toronto doesn't put up 8 on Chi-Chi, for fuck's sake, man. They beat up some solid pitchers who didn't have bad stuff for the White Sox these last few days. So moving on. Let's see. Moving on to Seattle and Texas. Logan Gilbert, Dane Dunning. I'm not a big Dane Dunning fan. I'm interested in what you think about Logan Gilbert. I don't know what we see here, but Seattle's offense starting to heat up at least a little bit. I was at least interested. Sometimes I have some success with team totals. Seattle over 4 at minus 110 was interesting to me against Dane Dunning today. Any thoughts from you on this one?
Gilbert came out guns a-blazing. I have a big future on him. I think around 200 or 300 to 1 in the wins category to lead the majors. Came out guns a-blazing, hanging around there. Dunning has been pitching better of late. The Texas offense has been pitching well. An overnight number of Seattle open up minus 125, now down to 111. There has been some Texas money coming in. I think it's a outside looking in. If you get the real Gilbert, I think that they'll find a way to eke out a win. If you want to get cute here and don't want to deal with either bullpen, you can try to get in on that first five. But I know this is when I've gone against Dunning of late, he's burned me.
Yeah, and this one it's kind of a stay away from me. I guess I was trying to get cute and say, there's certain spots that I really don't like Dane Dunning, and this kind of tipped me off as one of them. But it's obvious Seattle's also a public side here on this Friday, so I think this was a few too many red flags for me. Interesting one next up: Padres and Brewers, Musgrove and Burns. The way I'm looking at it there, they seem to be begging for some Padres money here tonight against the Brewers. That line keeps going up and up and up for Brewers with Burns. Burns has been lights out. Musgrove's been great the last two, but to me, I don't think he's really proven that he can kind of extend that type of at least dominant streak past 2-3 starts. And Padres offense has been cold. 10 straight games, 4 or less runs. Is this another Burns dominant outing for you in Milwaukee tonight?
I would have to say that the Padres didn't sleep well last night. They had the game in hand and gave up 4 in the ninth and lost.
Okay, I didn't see that.
On paper, Burns looks like the play. To me, initially, the 150 I thought was a little light, even though Musgrove is a good pitcher. He's not Burns. It'd be interesting to see, is there, like your White Sox, a sense of urgency here where the Padres have not been winning of late. They took it in the chin. Obviously, if you wanted to back the Milwaukee side, their strength is their front end pitching, and then obviously their back end with Williams, Gott, and Hader. So tough spot for me. Wouldn't be shocked if the Padres come out with a vengeance, and I'm not trying to play both sides. Wouldn't be shocked if the Padres are still in shock after what happened last night and Burns rolls them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at minus a half. First five for the Brewers is right around minus 110. That seems a little too good to be true to me. So I'm a little concerning there. But like you said, it still would not shock me if Burns is 7 innings of no run baseball. I mean, he's that good. It really wouldn't surprise me. But Musgrove could do the same thing. Next one, I need you to. I'm asking whether or not I'm crazy or not on this one. Atlanta and Colorado. Max Fried, who I really like, versus Chad Kuhl, but the Rockies at home have been unbelievable against left-handed pitching. But this Atlanta offense is heating up over the last few. I think 6+ over their last 3 runs. Am I crazy to like Colorado, or should I be looking at the over in this one?
Sometimes you get your get well spots, and Atlanta came into town and their bats woke up. It was a football score yesterday. Fried, I think, got lit up, if I'm not mistaken, his last start, or wasn't as effective as Fried usually is. The numbers telling you Atlanta. If I was to dive into that, I would play Atlanta run line here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't obviously run to the window minus 170 or 167. But as you said, Kuhl has been pitching pretty damn good for the Rockies. So It's kind of, when you want to say the Braves are back, they always kick you right in the what.
They've been reminding me of maybe not this last week or so. The White Sox are looking especially bad, but for that reason, whenever the White Sox look sort of back, they kick you right in the teeth. So, the Rockies' numbers against lefties has been just really what's been, and I like Max Fried, so it's kind of keeping me away from it today. But they've been world beaters at home against the left-handed pitching. Next one up, I'll pose it to you. Red Sox heading over to Oakland. Eovaldi, Caprielin. Is this a spot where, as far as the number, I think the Red Sox are about minus 160, but I was pulling it up. Red Sox 19-40 last 59 games in Oakland. Is this a house of horrors for your Red Sox, or is that nothing to look into there?
That's a great call there. They go east to west. Didn't have the greatest homestand. They're struggling at friendly Fenway, as we like to say, coming off a nice win with Whitlock and Hout piggybacking. Went to bed last night saying Sox first 5 minus the hook. Expect a big performance from Eovaldi. Not a big Capriolan fan.
No.
Under over is at a flat 7. Vegas is telling us 4-3 Sox. I initially am sticking to Sox first 5 minus the hook.
Okay. I hear you. I'm with you. I'm not a big Caprellian guy either, and I mean this Oakland offense. We always talk about it. They're pretty worse for wear. Interesting. I was interested to hear your thoughts though, because I mean, you're obviously going east to west. Red Sox. My White Sox are another team. There's just a few teams. Every team has a few teams where you go to their stadium and it's just a house of horrors no matter what. And Oakland is the same for the White Sox as far as that type of split against them. So one more game and then I'll kick it back to you if you had any others that I missed. Mets and Dodgers. Bassett versus Tyler Anderson. Anderson, not really a household name, but 8 out of 9 starts this year, 2 or less runs allowed. Last 3, 6 or more innings pitched, so he's been really damn good. Regression spot for him, or is he going to keep rolling with the Dodgers there today?
I like the thought process of the regression. I also think about the fact that the Dodgers, after getting swept by the Pirates at home, bring in the big boys who, we already got the Subway Series. We know that's what the World Series is, or that's what the public sort of thinks
Right.
it is. They say not so fast. They shut out the Miracle Mets 2-0 last night. Mets 35-18, Dodgers 34-17. Bassett's been very, very good for the Mets. Not big on Anderson. You would think some regression, but I'm going to take this on one step further and say, hey, we sleptwalked through the Pirates. We got a good team in town. Everyone's talking about the Mets. No one's talking about the Dodgers. I lean Dodgers here first 5. I could be going into the teeth, though. You could get that 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, under over of 8. I just think the Dodgers are going to try to make a statement this weekend.
Yeah, I like it, and I'm interested to see what happens. Anderson, obviously, I don't think he's had this type of run before in his career, so you would have to expect at some point, maybe not tonight, but at some point you got to expect some regression. Any games that I missed that you were interested in talking about?
I like San Fran on a bounce back. Alcantara lights out. I mean, their front end staff has been amazing. The only problem is when you get involved in minus half runs with these guys, their offense is nowhere to be found. Yeah. They found a way to score a couple runs and win yesterday. Hernandez has been the punching bag on this rotation. I think that San Fran gets to him. Now, with that said, I'm not going to pay the tax. I will look at a San Fran first 5, not have to worry about the back end with San Fran, minus the hook against Miami.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like that one there. Cobb is due for something there. Anything out of Washington and Cincinnati, another game that Mike Minor making his first start of 2022. Not quite Chichi Gonzalez bad, but at least kind of in that conversation, right?
Tough to back any guys coming into their first start, especially Mike Minor. I think you throw harder than Mike Minor, and I'm not going to disrespect him. I threw a player prop yesterday. I thought it was set up perfectly. I had a one Soto homer plus 370, and it was Josh Bell that hit the solo homer. 8-1 Cincinnati. Gray has been hit or miss. Washington kind of going through the motion. Cincinnati has been, since their 3-23 start. Let me go to them right now. They started the season 3-23. They're now 18-32. So 15
and 9
and 9 their last 26. So I can't back Minor, but I sure can't back Washington. Maybe we see an under over that opened at 9.5 under is now 9.5 over. Again, I stink at totals, guys, but if I had to get into this game, I might lean the over here.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, I think we'll just stay away from that one altogether. That's a damn stinky game over there for us. But not too many other ones. Garrett Cole and the Yankees laying a heavy price on the Tigers. Tigers, record-wise, heating up. We mentioned it a couple days ago, and I think they got 2 more wins over the Twins since we last talked. But Twins, I think that's more about the Twins kind of free-falling as opposed to the Tigers really heating up at all. Any faith in the Tigers against Garrett Cole, or is the Garrett Cole rolling today?
Friday night, it's amazing how Cole ends up on a payday. I mean, look at the tax there. Opened at $350, now $335. That is not the Erod from the Red Sox. This guy has been getting crushed. I would expect the Yankees to win. I would expect the public to be all in on the Yankees. Money line parlays, first five minus the hook run lines. I'm going to sit and watch and hope the Tigers crush the Yankees' dreams. Don't forget they're coming off a doubleheader too last night as well.
Right.
Uh,
And then, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no. I was looking at Houston and Kansas City. On paper, I think everyone will flock to Houston and Urquidy.
Yeah.
Singer has been pitching lights out for Kansas City. It's a number that opened at 150 overnight. It's 126. I expect a big public play initially on Houston, but I'm seeing some money coming in on the Royals.
Yeah, it looks like pretty close to even money as far as I see 82% of bets on Houston, but pretty close to 50-50 money splits. I think your Quiddy's a wild card. I don't think it's a bad play at all if you're interested in the Royals as far as taking a swing on them. Your Quiddy's a wild card for fuck's sake. So would not shock me at all if the Royals put up some runs on them.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Singer has been pitching his, what off, and I think the price is worth maybe a first five, and then maybe Houston gets to them in the back end there. The last game that is kind of intriguing. I'm a big Bieber fan. Baltimore's been playing a lot better baseball.
Yeah.
Bieber comes in versus Zimmerman. Cleveland, a little offensively challenged. Opened at 135, now 146. Any interest in maybe Bieber first five minus the hook?
Possibly. I like Bieber, and I think the best is yet to come for him coming up this season. I'm not a big fan. You mentioned that Cleveland's as being offensively challenged. I think even more so on the road. So whenever I see them on the road, I kind of just stay far away from them. However, Bieber's kind of the outlier there, where I am at least interested to some degree because I could see him being absolutely fantastic today. So I'm kind of just out on the road, out on the Guardians on the road here, just in general. So I typically stay away. The other one that we didn't mention, and we didn't mention the news. I don't know if you saw it, but Joe Girardi gets the hook in Philly. They let him go. They've got Phillies are I think who do they got in town today? They've got the Angels in town today. Did you see this news as far as Joe Girardi getting the hook so far?
There was rumors that they were going to start to fly. Joe just isn't getting it done. And you know what? I'm going to blame upper management on this. I liked the hire. You have a lot of offensive stars. You brought the offensive firepower in. They actually have like a softball team out there. They do not defend well. And now you have no back end. And you've gone into games with leads in the 7th, 8th, and 9th and have faltered. And obviously, we go to the manager to start. It doesn't matter who you bring in there as manager. If you have no bridge, you have no 8th and 9th inning guy, you're not going to go anywhere. And it's kind of you're always supposed to wager on the team that just fired their coach. It's usually a wake-up call. And what better way than the Angels, who are free-falling? And another guy that they're calling for their head is Joe Madden.
Right. And not only that, but I think you got Zach Eflin on the mound for the Phillies, who's definitely in a bounce back spot. He was rough his last time out. He's been kind of hit or miss this season, but yeah, I think he's probably due for a bounce back himself. So, maybe the Phillies might be a nice play here today. Minus 125 or so on the full game. Let me double check that on FanDuel. That's ESPN giving me that number. I don't know. FanDuel, actually, I don't even see it posted on FanDuel right now, possibly because of the news. So might take a second to get that back posted after that news.
They have undecided right now up on Dawn Best,
Okay.
But I did see Eflin in a spot. So 123 overnight, down to 118, 120 across the Vegas Strip. So there, the hockey game tonight is so intriguing because Tampa came off of a 7 or 8 day rest. They got blitzed at Madison Square Garden. Rangers now up 1-0. And actually, before I go into this, let me just do this for everyone just to get a feel what Vegas is saying. Let me get here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go into my Circa app here and see what they are saying after the loss. Okay. So the Rangers are now minus 122 and the Lightning plus 102 to win the series. Now, I talked about before this series started, Lightning plus 115 to start against Toronto. They win in 7. Lightning plus 140 against Florida. Would they win in 5? I mean, I don't even
4 or 5. That might have been 4.
games. Yeah, it was ugly. Now, of course, Tampa is the favorite. They hadn't been favored on the road the whole playoffs. They were the favorite again in game one and lose. Now, Tampa in the last 3 years after a loss is 17-0. Okay, so the whole world knows that. The whole
That's in the
world
playoffs.
knows that. And in the playoffs, correct?
Yeah.
And yet overnight number is 120. There's only one way this number can go, and that's up. It's at 127 right now. It's circa 128 at Westgate, 130 at South Point. Will probably be around 135, 138 by opening faceoff. So I will say this to everyone listening: if you like the Lightning tonight, you better grab some plus 102 on them in the series as well.
Yep. I'm looking, FanDuel's pretty close. It's minus 120 for the Rangers, plus 100 exactly for the Lightning. So I'm liking what you're putting down because I do, again, I've always mentioned I'm not the hockey guy, but I do think the Lightning bounce back tonight. So I'm liking what I'm liking the language you're putting down right now.
All right. Closing thoughts, sir.
I've got nothing crazy. I'm ready for a nice day of baseball. As far as managers getting fired, I hope my White Sox are potentially next in line. Although I'm not going to be holding my breath as far as Reinsdorf and his buddy Tony La Russa. So it's been rough as far as my White Sox. I guess I'll just use that to close up their 3-game sweep against the Blue Jays with some just bad fundamental baseball going on and lack of, I mean, we've had a different offensive lineup, hitting lineup, a unique lineup in every single game this year. There's 2 other teams that have done that. I'm blanking on who it is, but they're not good teams. And you put Andrew Vaughn in the 7 hole for the White Sox behind Gavin Sheets, behind Yasmani Grandal. You put Larry Garcia at the top of the order, who's slugging under 200, I think, and Yohan Moncada, the same thing. Who obviously we need him to at least get out of this slump. But Andrew Vaughn, the only guy that's actually hitting, aside from now Jose Abreu in our lineup without Tim Anderson, and you put him in the 7th hole. And I think there was 2 innings where they strand runners on base, and then Andrew Vaughn comes up as the leadoff man the next inning, as opposed to having some opportunities to knock him in. So head scratching moves from Tony La Russa. But if you're familiar with the situation, Jerry Reinsdorf for 40 years was kicking himself that he fired him in the first place back in 1984. And it's almost deja vu as far as winning the division in 83, winning the division last year, now starting pretty rough the next following year. And in that situation in 84, they fire him. And like I said, for 40 years, Jerry Reinsdorf was kicking himself that he ever let him go, let this Hall of Fame manager go. And now he's back. And I'm not holding my breath that he's going to do the same thing again. I think he's made it pretty clear that he doesn't want to do the same thing again. So hopefully we take a play out of the Phillies playbook and change something up. But I'm not holding my breath over here, but still holding out some optimism that we can get some healthy guys back in the lineup, my friend.
Well, sometimes this could be a domino effect. I heard a lot of rumblings from the Marlins people. They says it's time for Don to go. It's time for upper management to go. They're not happy with Joe Maddon and a lot of his moves. You bring up a Tony La Russa, and all those 3 have common. They're a little long in the teeth, age-wise. I was my favorite of all time is Tito for the Guardians. He came to Boston. He won. He was a player's manager, but he took no shit. Yeah. And then when he left, and we brought Cora in, loved Cora, love everything about him. He gets the players motivated. There's been times he had COVID this year. Don't forget he had a year suspension. The team's not the same without him. Even if he misses just a couple of games, they just act and react a lot better. So that's a big part of baseball. It's 162 games. It's 6 months of the year. And if you don't respect and play for your manager, there tends to be once you lose the dugout, you're all done.
Right. And I know that's the interesting thing. That's the weird part about it. When the White Sox brought in Tony La Russa, it was a question of why this guy doesn't seem like the right fit for these guys in the clubhouse. And that honestly has seemed like not the worst part of this deal. Now it just seems like he is making these head scratching moves on a daily basis that no one can comprehend, and then it's not working out much like he would hope so. So Not hold my breath, but yeah, I'm ready for some changes to be made here on the south side, my friend.
Well, as always, it's been a pleasure. Myself and Riley will be back on Sunday morning. We will talk to you about the pre-flop Sunday golf. We've been on fire. Mr. Lee comes to name. Justin Thomas, Sam Burns. These all guys, what do they have in common? They came from 7 strokes back. Now, I don't know if Jack's place or Jack's house is where you can do that. But golf is one of those games where Sunday you could wake up, you could put $20 on a guy at plus 4 or 5,000 and walk away with 800 or $1,000. It's, that type of sport. So later today at 2:30, myself and Dan Alexander, we will get you caught up with the Premier Lacrosse League. We will recap Maryland's undefeated season and their NCAA championship there. And at 6 o'clock, or give or take 15 minutes, myself and Scott Webb will have the closing bell for you. So always remember this, people. If you are wagering or investing today, tomorrow, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up that phone. There's an 800 number available. Imagine that. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Riley care. We would like to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed morning. Enjoy the weekend. Have some fun. Summer's almost here, and we will see you soon.